Hello and welcome back to another episode of Dem Sports Talk Podcast. My name is the Finest Madison and I'm your host. This is episode 10 of Dem Sports Talk Podcast, and we are here again to talk that shit, be negative, and do all that good shit. Dem Sports Talk, you know what I mean? Dem Sports Talk. Now, let's get right into it. It's been a minute. I think I haven't put a podcast out in like a week. Maybe a week and 2-3 days. But shit, we here now. And let's jump right into it. It is the World Series time. They actually didn't play the first two games. Fucking Tampa Bay versus Los Angeles Dodgers. I told y'all a week and a half ago. I told y'all before the championship series started that it was going to be Dodgers and Tampa Bay. Now, it happened a little bit uglier than what I thought it was going to happen. They took that shit down to the wire. It happened in 7 games for both of them niggas. But at the end of the day, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, World Series, let's get it cracking. Like, that's just how it happened. And I'm happy to see this matchup in the World Series. 1, because it's exciting. And 2, because if you really look at it, both teams are built exactly the same way. They have depth with their pitching. Both can have a game where they probably pull about 5 to 8 guys out of the bullpen. And they both have bats. Obviously, the Dodgers' bats are a bit better, a bit more polished than the bats for Tampa Bay. But and on the flip side of that, the depth and the quality pitching, the deeper you go into the bullpen for Tampa Bay might be slightly better, even though Dodgers have the bigger names, but, give or take. But anyway, game 1, Dodgers won 8-3. And it was, and to be honest, in my opinion, that first game came down to coaching, managing, however you want to put it. This entire playoff run, Tampa Bay has done something that was beautiful that they started a few years ago, and that's pulling the starter early and letting the bullpen rock. In game 1, they did not pull the starter. They let him continue to go. Like, I don't know what they were feeling that day. Glass, they just thought he was going to be amazing. But in the 4th inning, once he gave up those 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th, normally the manager would pull the starter and then the bullpen would start from the 5th. But that didn't happen. So, theoretically, what should have happened was Glass, you give up 2, we get back 1, and then we put the next nigga in the 5th. But no, they let Glasnow stay in, and Glasnow gave up another 4 runs, and then that kind of put the game out of reach. The game was then 6-1, and then in the 6th inning, now with all the pressure on, the bullpen gave up another 2, which made it 8-1. Tampa Bay tried to get in. They got another 2, made it 8-3, but that was really it. That was the end of the game. So once they gave up that 4 in the bottom of the 5th, that was it. I was really over with after that. But I'm gonna put that on managing. You got to know your personnel, you got to know your team, and you got to continue to do what you've always done, right? What got you there is you not relying too heavily on your starter. And by you not relying too heavily on your starter, when the going gets tough and it's a closeout game, your starters aren't too battered and worn out where they can come in and give you an inning on a closeout game like they did with the Yankees. Morton or Snell never came in with the Yankees. However, just in case Diego Castillo, just in case his arm started to get a little weak, just in case he started to look like he wasn't going to be able to make it, you had Charlie Morton, and Blake Snell warming up in the bullpen. That's the beauty of Tampa Bay. But for some reason, in Game 1, they shot away from that, and it came back to bite them in the ass, really. And that was Game 1. Game 2, Tampa Bay Rays, they came back, and they got them a win. And for most people, I think they got the Dodgers just winning this straight out. Me personally, I got Tampa Bay winning this. And you would think I'd be worried after the Game 1, but I wasn't. I was sitting pretty comfortably. And now, after game 2, after the Rays winning, if you really think about it, the Rays are up after winning game 2. Now, of course, this isn't the normal 7-game series with travel and blah, 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 and all this other shit. However, that actually might be a benefit to the Tampa Bay Rays. It's not being the traveling and not playing at your actual stadium. And 2, their mindset should be, we got a game in their home games, right? Because even though they're not actually at home, the beauty about baseball, when you are the designated home team, you get the last crack at the bat. You get the last opportunity to score. So in those 2 games, they won 1, so they got 1. Now, when they're the designated home team, they handle business. They could be up 3-1. They can go up pretty quickly. And I like that. So if they keeping this good mindset and they going to these next 2 games on Friday and Saturday, you know, it can get real ugly. As a matter of fact, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, yeah, because how baseball is set up, they do 2-3-2. So now these next 3 games, they're the designated home team. So if they can take 2 of these next 3, it'll be looking real ugly for the Dodgers. To be honest, oh shit, it's gonna look real ugly for the Dodgers. But in game 2, Tampa Bay handled their business. They got a quick lead and they never let it go. Once again, most of the runs scored happened between the 4th and the 6th inning. The same thing happened in game 1, and that's usually when you see the starter starts to get tired. It's probably the 2nd rotation of the batting order, maybe even the 3rd, depending on how well the pitcher's doing. And yeah, they did their shit. Except when this time they let Blake Snell pitch into the 5th, but he didn't give up any runs in the 4th. So he gave up 2 runs in the 5th, and then they pulled him out. So good job. Managing the way you've been managing this whole time. So in game 1, they let him give up 2 runs, and they sent him back out there. In game 2, Blake Snell gave up 2, and they pulled his ass out. And to be honest, I think game 1 was it game? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think it was just a game. I think it was an overreaction to the players' emotions. I know as a pitcher, you know, all the egos. Same thing with like a quarterback in football. You want to be out there and you want to be the reason your team wins. But as a manager, you need to be able to make the difference or differentiate between those moments of where the player is just juiced up on all ego, or is the player actually going to persevere and make it through and do the shit that he needs to do in order to help your team win the game. So game 2, I like the management, and also let's give some acknowledgement to Brandon Lowe. 2 dingers in game 2, hit one in the top of the 1st, hit one in the top of the 5th. So he himself is responsible for 3 runs out of the 6. So he was responsible for half of all the offense created in game 2 for the Tampa Bay Rays. So good job with him. And then the person responsible for the for the other half is, let's say, Wendell. He hit a double in the top of the 4th, driving in Margaret and Choi. And then he hit a sacrifice fly in the top of the 6th, driving in Choi once again. And then Choi, shout outs to you for being the Mr. Consistent. Always finding a way to get on base, man. I like it. So, now, sticking with baseball, I got, this is, Kershaw had a decent game 1. But, Kershaw, you need to be better, bro. I mean, it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. 1 earned, 8 Ks, 1 walk, right? But Kershaw, you got this Peyton Manning thing going on. Now, and it might be a little worse than Peyton Manning. I'm trying to think of another quarterback, but he might be relatively the only one I can really think of. And here's the reason why. Because when we're talking about greatest of all time, best there is in what you do. The closest comparison I have is Peyton Manning for Clayton Kershaw, and by that I mean you might really be the greatest at what you do, like ever, but when it matters most, you can't perform. So like regular season Kershaw, by the numbers and by most of the eye tests, you are literally the greatest pitcher to ever pitch a ball, like literally. There may be no pitcher better than you ever. Like no one. Like literally no one. I cannot think of anyone. Again, I'm not a baseball savant, but I can't think of a soul that pitches better than you. Of course, we've seen some quirkier mechanics. We've seen some guys pitch harder. We've seen some guys pitch faster. We've seen some guys put more funk on the ball. We've seen all of this. However, no one has been more consistent. No one has done it for longer. And just, you are literally the best pitcher ever. However, in a few years, however long, probably even now, no one's going to think that. Why? Because you can't get it done in the postseason. That is why. Because your amazing ERA that is better than anyone else's balloons and inflates ridiculously once you go into the playoffs. Now, granted, all of it may not be your fault. It isn't your fault. All of it isn't your fault. Some of it is, all of it isn't. Communication is key. Managing is key. Let me say that, okay? Managers should always know what he has and who he has and when he needs to take them out. I'm sorry, this isn't the 70s, this isn't the 80s, this isn't the 60s, this isn't even the 90s. A pitcher pitches 5, maybe 6 innings. Most of the shit that you've given up in your career in the postseason has happened in the 6th and the 7th inning. I think most of it actually in the 7th inning. So it's been managers who's thinking like, oh, we have this old school, great ass pitcher. This is all we need. Let's ride into the 7th, maybe the 8th. And it has not worked out well for you in the postseason. So with that being said, it would be great for you to finally get you one, but you would never be regarded as the best to ever do it because this postseason shit is just getting to you, bro. Like literally, you go from the greatest ever to like halfway trash, even though it's not all your fault. But I'm gonna put it all on you because you need to communicate. You need, like, if your arm's getting tired, that's that ego shit I was talking about, bro. If your arm's getting tired and this is your third time going through the batting order, you might want to tell your manager like, yo, my shit's slowing down. They might catch me. That's some nutty shit to tell a manager like, yo, got it, bro. I think if I throw one more fastball, that nigga gonna crack me. It's just, man, look. So, and the reason why I'm comparing him to Peyton Manning, the sad thing with Peyton Manning is literally, if you look at his regular season numbers and you look at the things he was able to do, how he was able to dissect defenses, like, he is literally, now that, well, Patrick Mahomes might be changing that, but prior to Patrick Mahomes, and we need to see how long Patrick Mahomes does this Patrick Mahomes shit. But prior to Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning literally was the best quarterback to ever do it. If you're looking at his regular season stats, if you're looking at the numbers, the things that he's done throughout his career in the regular season, you would think there is no quarterback better ever. And there would never be a quarterback better than him. However, he's only won one Super Bowl while he was that guy. And he won another Super Bowl riding the coattails of an amazing defense. Right? And and then when the person who you directly compete against, another quarterback who is regarded as the greatest ever, wins fucking 6 Super Bowls and has 9 appearances, and you win 2, and you had 4 appearances. Yeah, I think you went to 4. Yeah, Peyton Manning, I think, went to 4 Super Bowls, but he only won 2. In the last 2 that he went to, it was all because of the defense, and the last one he won was all because of the defense. So the two that you were responsible for getting to, you only won one. I mean, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. So Kershaw, you're Peyton Manning. I mean, it's not the worst comparison, but it's just a sad comparison, right? It's just a sad thing to see the greatest ever not be regarded as the greatest ever because he's just trash in the postseason. Shit. And now that brings me on to the even bigger issue. Dodgers fans, I know you guys are sad as fuck. And here's why. You guys may be even worse than the Bills in the 90s. I always call you all the Bills of the 90s. But it may be even worse than that. Like, the Bills in the 90s, they went to 4 Super Bowls straight, which is amazing, but they lost all 4. And I think prior to those 4 and after those 4, it were like maybe 2 or 3 playoff appearances. So the Bills for a good decade were like amazing, but they have nothing to show for it. Nothing at all. On to the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been relatively amazing for about a decade, and they have absolutely nothing to show for it. Put this in perspective. Dodgers drafted Kershaw, I think around 07, 08, some shit like that. So I'll give it a couple years for, Kershaw to really be in his prime, the 08, 09, 10, 11, whatever. So the first 4 years, I'll give you a pass for that, right? For Kershaw in his prime. And then, of course, the team has to build around him, get other pieces in the rotation, whatever. So I'm going to jump straight to 2013. 2013 is when the Dodgers acquired Zach Greinke and all these other pieces. And, Dodgers supposed to be the most amazing shit ever. And also Kershaw, I think he was in his 5th year in the league. So it's about his prime. So since 2013, the Dodgers have, I want to say, went to the playoffs every single year since 2013. And it's 2020 now. It was about 7 years straight. Or just about, right? Let's see. Yeah, if I can do math right. About 8 years, really. 7, 8 years straight, they've been in the playoffs. 2013, they went to the championship series, which is the series right before the World Series, and they lost to the St. Louis Cardinals. Bet. Okay, we just got Zach Greinke. We on the verge. Let's do this. We got this. 2014, still with Zach Greinke, Kershaw, heading the fucking rotation. I think they had a couple other pitchers too in a great lineup. You lose in the divisional series to the St. Louis Cardinals, the team that just beat you in the championship series to go to the World Series last year. And I think in 2013, the Cardinals did win the World Series that year. So that's insane. Right. 2015, if I'm not mistaken, the Cardinals did win in 2013. So you try to make yourself feel a little better and say, well, we did lose to the champ. Anyway, moving over there. 2014, you lost to the Cardinals again. This time in a divisional series. You didn't make it to the championship series. 2015, Zach Greinke's still there. Clayton Kershaw, of course, he's still there because he's always going to be there. And you guys lose to the Mets in the divisional series in 2015. So that's 3 years. Since you get Greinke for 3 years, you go to the playoffs all 3 years. The first year, you go to NLCS and you lose. And in the next 2 years, you get kicked out in the divisional series. 2016, you make it back to the championship series, except this time you face the Cubs. The Cubs will go on to win their first title in like 110 years. And you guys lose in the championship series. And again, you can make yourself feel better and say, well, at least we lost to the guys who won the World Series. So this is 2016. Now, at this point, you made it to the playoffs 2013, 14, 15, and 16. 2 of those years, you went to the championship series, and you lost to the team that will eventually win the World Series. The other 2, you got kicked in the divisional series. Now, from 2016 and on, that's where it really gets... This is where it really gets bills, right? So for the first 3 years, got to the playoffs. One of them, you actually made a championship series, but you see where this can go. 2016, make it back to the championship series again. You lose to the Cubs. All right, bet. We got it next year. 2017, you make it to the World Series. You think it's your year. You play the fucking Houston Astros, and you lose. So now you're in the World Series and you lose. 2018, you get back to the World Series. So back-to-back World Series appearances. And what happens? You lose to the Boston Red Sox. So now, that's 2 World Series losses back-to-back and a fucking championship series loss to the eventual World Series winner. 2019, you get knocked in the divisional series. So you play 1 series of baseball and you lose to the eventual world champs in the Washington Nationals. And they're like, oh shit, man. And then now here you are again, 2020, back in the World Series. And if you lose to the Tampa Bay Rays, this is it. This is really it, like, to be honest. If you lose to the Tampa Bay Rays, you are the greatest team that never was. You are the Bills of the 90s. Because that would mean from the year 2013, you have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NL Championship Series appearances and 3 World Series appearances. And you've lost every time. And you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And you've had 8 playoff appearances. So 8 straight years to the playoffs. Man. Been kicked out 3 times in the divisional series. Been kicked out another 2 times in the championship series. And this is your 3rd time making it to the World Series, and you just can't get it done. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, man, it's rough out here for Dodgers fans, bro. Like, truly. I feel for you. I really, like, to be honest, I really know how I feel, man. Because I'm a Cubs fan. It took us 100-something years to win a World Series. Right. And I wasn't alive for most of it. I was born in 94. So for me, seeing the Cubs win the World Series, that was the greatest feeling in the world, man. And to be honest, the Cubs don't need to do anything else, like, for me. Like, we could truly never make it to the playoffs again, and that's okay. Because I got to see with my own eyes a World Series win. I know, man, I know some old geezers, some grandpas who have been waiting on the Cubs to win a World Series for over 50, 60, 70 years, who've been alive most of that time. And they never gave up. They never quit. They never they never shied away from being a Cubs fan. So I'm not going anywhere. But this Dodgers shit is sad. Because it's one thing to just, your team is just bad and you never get an opportunity. Like every 10, 20 years, you might make it to the championship series or you might go to the World Series. That's one thing. But to go over and over and over again and lose every fucking time, that shit is fucking sad, bro. Yo, it's like, who the fuck, like, bro, nigga, it's like, who raised you? Hey, get your shit in order, bro. That's some sad shit. Man, but I'm gonna leave baseball alone. Look, Game 3 on Friday. Man, I'm dropping this on Thursday. Game 3 on Friday. Game 1 and 2 were good games. They were good battles, good fights, and I enjoyed the shit. I really did. But Dodgers, y'all better get y'all shit together. Because it's crazy how y'all just y'all be losing to, like, the motherfuckers who, like y'all, it's like y'all feed into the narrative or the fucking headline story. Like, oh, the Cubs haven't won in 100 years. Like, y'all lose. This is Houston's first, and y'all lose. The Cardinals haven't been here in 30, y'all lose. This is the Red Sox only second appearance in the fucking World Series. Can they win them both? Y'all lose. Like, what the fuck? Oh, shit. And now this is Tampa Bay first World Series appearance or playoff appearance since 2008, and y'all gonna fucking lose. Oh, shit. This shit is hilarious. Okay, I'm done with baseball. Enough of baseball. On to football. And before I get into the games and everything that happened, fuck all that. Okay, no, maybe I should say some shit that happened. I mean, it's been a week. I think I'm probably missed like 2 sets of fucking football games and shit. I mean, football has been great. I'm so excited and so happy about football being back. The biggest takeaways is that the Bears are 5-1, you motherfuckers. The fucking Bears are 5-1. That's that go talk. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Fuck all you niggas who was thinking the Bears aren't gonna be shit. Bears are amazing. And I see playoffs in our future. Man. And to be honest, we keep getting this defense together. Hey, look, I ain't gonna say Super Bowl winners, but I'm getting there. Let me see a game or two more of Khalil Mack touching that quarterback. Of that defense punching that ball out. Look, to be honest, if the defense if they just did takeaways just a little bit better, and Kyle Fuller, don't let no flags deter you of laying these niggas out, because you keep laying these niggas out, man. Keep coming in with your shoulder and fucking their ass up, bro. Fuck all that defenseless player bullshit, man. Kyle Fuller, you keep doing your shit. Biggest takeaway, Bears are 5-1. Fuck everything else. These niggas are amazing. All right. I mean, and it's been great games, but it's just a few things I want to talk about. The COVID is, first of all, let me give a round of applause to the NFL, and they've been really handling this COVID shit well, and rescheduling everything on the fly and making shit work. We did have a Tuesday game a couple weeks ago, so actually last week we had a Tuesday game last week. So I mean, that's shit. It's been. I really enjoyed how not enjoyed rather, but appreciated how the NFL has handled all the COVID shit. Now, first thing I really want to talk about when it comes to this NFL shit is Derrick Henry, actually, running back for Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are 5-0. This upcoming week, I believe they play the Steelers. And I want to know if it's possible for Derrick Henry to win fucking MVP. Because I'm just going to be honest with you. This nigga is amazing. Like, he's truly amazing. Oh my fucking God, he's amazing. Like, he's just amazing. And I know other quarterbacks have been playing amazing. And they get most of the shine, they get most of the highlight plays, they get most of the glamour shots, and and they get most of the praise when a team wins. But it's crazy because like Derrick Henry's playing so amazing. He got people out here thinking Tannehill should be like MVP candidate. Like when Tannehill he playing all right, but he ain't playing great, my nigga. Like best believe the only reason why you getting all these yards is because niggas is loading the box for Derrick Henry. Now, last week game, Derrick Henry played, Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry, they played the Houston Texans. And Derrick Henry ran for 212 yards on 22 carries. Yeah, you heard that right. 212 fucking yards on 22 carries. Now, his lowest yardage game this season came in a blowout win versus the Buffalo Bills, where he only ran for 57 yards and averaged 3 yards a carry, which is still pretty fucking good. But that was literally his worst game. Averaging 3 yards a carry, and they won by damn near 30. Like, that's his worst game, right? And then, other than that, he had an 84-yard game where he averaged 3.4 yards a carry, meaning if you gave him the ball 3 straight times, you got a first down, right? And other than that, everything's over 100. You got 116, 119, and a 212. That's bro. So at this moment in time, he has 588 rush yards in 5 games. So he's averaging 115 yards a game, 120 yards a game, or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck? That is insane. And he has 6 rushing touchdowns. Oh my, this like. Really, they're projecting him to have 1882 when it's all said and done, and 19 touchdowns. Nigga, Like, what the fuck? That is, bro, I know this quarterback shit, and I know quarterbacks usually always win the regular season MVP. In the pros, and the running backs, when it comes to college, they usually win all the Heismans and shit, unless it's a fucking quarterback who can run as well, which generally has been happening for the past like 5-10 years. But fuck, I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking at all this quarterback shit right now, and it's sad how we're wired to just give the quarterback so much praise. If Russell Wilson has a couple bad games, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Derrick Henry, my God. Because Aaron Rodgers had a bad game, right? If he has about 2-3 more of those, and Derrick Henry continues to do what he does, and his worst game stays that 57-yard game where he only attempted to rush the ball 19 times, but he only got 19 carries. If that stays his worst game, and he continues to go on this madness of getting about 100 yards every game, probably more, I mean, it's over with, really. Like, it's really, like, I don't see how you can watch a man rush for damn near 2,000 yards and not give him MVP, especially if his team goes to the playoffs and number one seed, all this other bullshit. Like, I don't see how you cannot. Because coming up, his game, they play the Steelers, they play the Bengals, then they play the Bears, Colts, Ravens, Colts again, Browns, Jags, Lions, Packers, Texans. Right? So let's just look at the next 3 games for Derrick Henry. This week, they play the Steelers. Steelers are decent. They're more than decent. They're 5-0. I'm not going to lie. They're 5-0. And they're coming off a blowout win against the Cleveland Browns, and they held Kareem Hunt to 40 yards, right? And then before that, they played the Eagles, held their running back to 80 yards, and then they played the Texans as well, held their running back to 23 yards. So, I mean, the first step, let's see if man, I'm trying not to dick eat too much. If Derrick Henry has 100-plus yard games on the Steelers, then they go to Cincinnati, and he's going to have a 100-something yard game in Cincinnati. And then the Bears play in Tennessee, and it's sad to say, but hopefully by then we have a better run defense. But as of right now, our run defense isn't the greatest, and we do give up runs here and there. To be honest, we give up plays as a defense. It's just when you get down to the red zone, we stop people from converting in the red zone and force them to only go for only get 3. Our red zone defense is really our bread and butter, and we get a few takeaways here and there. But we do give up runs. I'm not gonna lie to you. So literally, his toughest running game will be the Steelers game for his next 3. But if he can get to the average against the Steelers and have some monster games against the Bengals and the Bears, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's totally possible for him to have a monster game. And by monster game, I won't even say monster. I'll say average game for him to rush for 100, 120. Because at the end of the day, having a strong running game, it's a slow and steady, continuously pounding the ball. So it's not like, you're not really going to blow anybody out with a running game. So it's still possible for you to lose even though you get a 200-yard game. But they play these Steelers, and he has another 100. Let's say he has a relatively okay game for him, which is anywhere from 80 to 110 yards against that defense and how they've been stopping the run so far this year. That'll be amazing. And then the Bengals, he's going to put up probably about 200. He's going to have a 150, 180 game against the Bengals. And I'm not going to lie to you. Well, they'll be in Tennessee, so there'll be no reason to run heavy in Tennessee. But against the Bears, he might put up another 130, 140. And that's literally so insane. And then last week's game versus the Texans, the Titans got into a wildcat formation. Derrick Henry took a direct snap with a 7-yard run for a TD. So now that they doing shit like that, this little 19 touchdown projection that they got for him, that might be too low. They got 11 games left, bro. If he started taking direct snaps in the red zone, I'm pretty sure he's going to average 2 TDs a game from here on out. And if he do that, in my projections, that put him at 27 TDs. 27 TDs? Like, bruh. Oh, my fault. My math is wrong. 28 TDs. 28 TDs. So picture this. This man has 28 touchdowns. I can't believe I'm about to say this shit. He has 28 touchdowns. He rushed for about 1,900, 2,000 yards. And his team is, let's say, a top 2 seed in the AFC. Yeah, right now they're the 2nd seed. So if Derrick Henry's legs get them to a top 2 seed in the AFC, he has, let's say, at least 22 TDs, and he rushes for almost 2,000 yards. How can you not give him the MVP? How can you not? Like how can you not reward such greatness? How can you not reward someone who's literally carrying a team on his back? Like, literally carrying a team on his back. I don't understand. Like, it's just, man. Like, and then, what the fuck? I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to remember this record for rushing yards in a single season. Not saying he gonna break it. Yeah, he might. At some point he might, because fucking what the fuck? I think last year in the playoffs he went insane. He was averaging like 150 yards, 150 yards a game in the fucking playoffs, bro. This is crazy. Now, I want to say, what the fuck is the? Yeah, 2,105 yards is the record by Eric Dickerson. That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. So 2,105 yards. I think the closest person to that was Barry Sanders. Yeah, Barry Sanders with 2,053. So you got that, and then the only nigga who I think did even better than that, relatively speaking, I believe is O.J. Simpson, because I think he did his 2,000-yard season with only 14 games. The rest of all these other 2,000-yard seasons happened with 2 extra games. So literally, if O.J. Simpson had 2 extra games, the record would probably be at 2,200 or some shit like that, or it'll be over what I can't fucking talk right now. What Eric Dickerson got, which is, man, that's insane. And I think AP is number 2 on the list. I want to say Adrian Peterson is number 2 on the list. We had 2,097 yards. So AP was about what the fuck is that? 8 yards away from tying the record, 9 yards away from breaking that motherfucker. And only 7 players have gotten over 2,000 yards. All right, so 2,000 yards is the goal. So let's say if this fucker rushes for 2,000 exactly, 2,000 whatever, and gets into the 2,000-yard club, making him only the 8th player in the history of football to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. Has all those fucking TDs, and man, and if we're looking at history, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4 out of these 7 players. 4 out of these 7 players to have 2,000-yard seasons all were voted MVP. And yeah, Terrell Davis, only one who didn't get MVP. Eric Dickerson didn't get MVP? That's nuts. That's nuts. Oh, no. Yes, he did. I'm sorry. So 5 out of the 7 players who rushed for 2,000 yards received the MVP award. Eric Dickerson, O.J. Simpson, Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, and Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson being the most recent. I think he did his that 2,000-yard season in 2012, my senior year of high school. So, I mean, or was that my freshman year of college? Anyway, that's besides the point. So what I'm saying is, this look, man, if he does that shit, he has to be MVP. Like, he has to, right? Man, but in order to get to that 2,000-yard mark, he needs to have a few more 200-yard games. Because when you really look at it, to get over 2,000, well, not really, to get over 2,000 yards in a 16-game season, you just need to average 125 yards per game. And I think right now, I don't think he's exactly on that pace, but he's pretty close to averaging that much per game. He's played 5 games, and he has 588 yards. So if he was at, I think, 625 right now, we'll put him at 125 per game. So he's not quite there yet, but hey, he's on his way. Anyway, enough about Derrick Henry. Probably was on that a little bit longer than what I needed to be. Next thing I want to talk about in what's really going on in the NFL is Antonio Brown getting another chance, another crack at the NFL, which is I'm excited to see. I don't know how I feel about it really. I mean, it's football, right? Who really gives a fuck? I mean, he's been out of the league, now 2 years now? Maybe he's learned a lesson, maybe he hasn't. But a few teams are interested, and the one I'm hearing the most about is the Seattle Seahawks. I know a while ago, I think before the season or however long ago, he went up to Seattle and he was throwing a few balls to Russell. I know Tom wanted him, like, for real. But fuck, if he goes to Seattle, oh my fucking God. Yo, if he goes to Seattle, that shit is going to be insane. Bruv, think about this, right? So they already got DK Metcalf. They already got Tyler Lockett. They already got, fuck, bro. So you already got these big, fast wide receivers that maybe can't run the whole route tree and but they're really good receivers. They're not great, but, I mean, they're like, Tyler Lockett, he is what he is. He's been in the league for a little while. But even him being what he is, that's a really good receiver. He can always get behind the defense. And you can see that DK Metcalf, big ass, can also get behind the defense, and he runs decent routes. But if you get a guy like Antonio Brown, a guy who can run the entire route tree, he can run every single route that you give him. And in the attention at that, he draws so much attention, right? So, like, having him is going to make Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf look like fucking superstars. Because they will, like, damn near always have one-on-one coverage now. That's insane. And you think about, like, oh, okay, whatever, but DK Metcalf only having one guy on him, and it probably won't be the best guy. DK Metcalf is big as fuck. Like, he's like 6'5", big brawly ass, like fucking, that nigga's big. He's so, and he can jump high too. And Tyler Lockett is fast as fuck. So just think about Tyler Lockett in a one-on-one situation, hitting a double move, and everyone's focused on Antonio Brown. So you might not have any, like, the cornerback might not have any help over the top. And of course, Russell Wilson will know that, so it's gonna be over with. God damn. Like, it'll be cool to see it happen. I don't really want to see it happen. Does that mean it's gonna be even more difficult for my Bears? But my Bears, we have a lockdown corner. Kyle Fuller. I said Kyler Fuller. Kyle Fuller. So that Antonio Brown shit, bump that shit. Kyle Fuller will match him up with him one-on-one, and that's it. And it's over with after that. Fuck it. All right, enough of that NFL show. Enough of all that news. As far as the games coming up for this week 7, let's see. Thursday Night Football, we got Giants versus Eagles. The fucking NFC East is horrible. Like, that shit look like a fucking... I don't even know what the fuck that shit look like. Like, damn, that shit is sad, bro. Like, I think every team has one win. That shit is sad. Giants, and the Giants might beat the Eagles. That's the sad part. That's really the crazy part. And that's Thursday Night Football. On Sunday, you got Lions versus Falcons. Lions should need to do something. Falcons just won their first game. Lions should be able to snag them while they're thinking they're going to get another win. Browns versus Bengals. Browns are supposed to handle business, but the Bengals have looked decent. Bengals did go up, I think, about 4 TDs against the Colts last week. So the Bengals have the potential. They just need to be able to hold the lead and learn how to run the ball. But I think their main running back went down, so we'll see how that goes. But I actually like the Bengals in that. Steelers versus Titans, I've already told you about that. I'm loving what Derrick Henry does, and hopefully Derrick Henry has a big game, and hopefully has a big enough game to put him on track for that 2,000-yard season. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see him break that record, actually, and and eclipse that 2,105-yard mark for the season. Panthers versus Saints. Saints are damn near 8-point favorites. I don't like that. I do like the Panthers. I've been on here before telling you how much I think it's time for Drew Brees to hang it up. Yeah, I just don't see it in Drew Brees no more. I don't see the Saints getting back to a Super Bowl with the way Drew Brees is playing. So, yeah, it might be time for him to hang it up. Now, granted, I think this should be the first game they have Michael Thomas all season. So we should see how that affects his play, Drew Brees. But not his first time. He played against Tampa Bay on the 13th, but that was a while ago. I think that was the very first game, and he only got 17 yards. So I mean, whatever. Anyway, I actually felt with the Panthers for that game, and now we got Bills versus Jets. Bills should do their fucking thing. Jets are horrible. I think the Jets might actually lose all 16 games this season, which would be insane. I think it's been a while since I don't know when the last time we had a 0-16 team, but yeah, they might lose every game, bro. They can't score shit, and holding the other team to 25 when all you can score is 10 is really not. Yeah, I don't see them winning. Cowboys versus Washington Redskins. Man, Cowboys are Washington is a 1-point favorite. They're in Washington. It's not the Washington Redskins. I'm sorry, Washington football team. Yeah. And seeing how Dallas played last week, is he getting another 2 fumbles? Andy Dalton being exactly what you remember him being. A fucking bum bucket. Yeah, I mean, Washington very well probably going to win. And that's crazy. Fuck, man. Got Packers versus Texans. What's his name? Aaron Rodgers should get back to form against the Texans. But, Texans, ever since they fired the fucking coach, Bill O'Brien, in these last 2 games, they've looked decent. I'm not going to lie. Overtime loss, 30-14 win over Jacksonville. Even the week before that, they've been in close games all season. They just haven't been able to close them out. So I actually expect a hard fight right there against the Packers. So then you got Seahawks, Cardinals. Seahawks only a 3.5 favorite, but we know what the Cardinals, they not ready, man. They're not ready. Cardinals are 4-2, and I know I was dick eating a lot with Kyler Murray, but their last 2 games that they won came against the Jets and the Cowboys. I mean, it's in this last game that they won, Kyler Murray was 9 for 24. He just didn't turn the ball over. That was the difference. He didn't turn the ball over none, but he was 9 of 24. Like, that's not against the Seahawks. It's not going to get it done, bro. It's not going to get it done, especially when Russell Wilson is going to go fucking 25 of 29. Like, that 9 of 24 shit is not going to happen. It's not going to work. It just won't. You got Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs. 49ers, Patriots. Patriots should get back to form. Now that they're going to have a full week of practice, I think this would be better for them. The offensive line is a little, man, that offensive line is shaky. Hopefully a week of practice with the offensive line will be better. But, man, that offensive line is fucking horrible. And that whole COVID shit had them fucked up. Because last week when these boys played the Denver Broncos, they lost 18-12. Now, the defense was on point because they scored 18 points off field goals. So that's 6 trips to the red zone, and you came away with 3 points. So, I mean, the Belichick's defense is, you know, he gonna have the defense ready. Hopefully he has that offensive line ready, and Cam is able to have a better game than what the fuck he had last week. That's the key. That's the key. Cam, you need to get your shit together, and the offensive line needs to be better. That's really it. You know, you got Jaguars, Chargers. That's a dub for the Chargers. They're an 8-point favorite, but that's a dub. I like that. I like that Herbert, whatever the fuck that quarterback name is for the Chargers. Bucks, Raiders. Out here in Vegas, I don't know, man. Tampa Bay and Tom looked great last week, but I don't know. These Raiders, off a bye week too? Yeah, Raiders might get them one. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, Monday Night Football. Greatest game of them all. Bears versus Rams. The Rams are 6-point favorites over my Bears. Bears gonna do it again. I'm gonna take a money line. Fuck it. Yo, we playing too good, man. Like, I know, like, Aaron Donald's amazing. Don't get me wrong. And if you were looking for a defensive player to give MVP to, Aaron Donald might be one of them, right? He might be the guy you're looking at. However, man, I just like our chances, man. The Rams just lost to San Francisco last week, and they you know, I mean, I like the Bears' chances. And here's why. Jared Goff's just not that good. I mean, granted, our quarterback isn't the best either. But our defense, both defenses are pretty great. But I feel like the Rams' defense is more Hollywood than anything. They got big names. They pay out a lot of money, whatever. Our defense is real gritty, you know, and nasty and just cutthroat. And of course, if this game was in Chicago, it'd be a wash, Chicago for sure. Because I just think that their team isn't built to handle the elements. But I don't know, man. I'm being interested to see. I'm biased as fuck, so I'm gonna pick the Bears to win every game. But I hope they win. And one way they can win, just land it on them, punching them in the mouth. Because I feel like if Jared Goff gets punched in the mouth, I don't have faith in him reacting and responding the correct way. I just don't. I just don't have faith. But anyway, that's it for pro football. This podcast is getting long. It's almost an hour now. Let's move to college football. Only thing I really want to say about college football is that more leagues, more teams are starting to play. This week, the Big Ten comes back into action. And that's exciting. And if you're unfamiliar with the Big Ten, that's Illinois, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Ohio State, you know, Rutgers, Michigan State, Penn State, Indiana, Iowa, Purdue, shit like that, Michigan, Minnesota, Maryland, Northwestern. So this is a very strong conference, the Big Ten. And then the week after this one, you get the return of the MAC. Most people are probably unfamiliar with this conference. However, for gamblers, people who bet on sports, you know, you probably win most of your money and do the most damage in the smaller conferences that no one pays attention to. So this MAC that's going to start back next week on November 4th. And that's an onslaught of all Wednesday games, which is pretty amazing. It's East Michigan, Kent State, West Michigan, Akron, Buffalo, Northern Illinois, Ohio, Central Michigan, Ball State, Miami, Ohio, Bowling Green, Toledo, like those teams. And I'm very excited for the MAC to return because that is a great conference to bet on. But for college in general, man, I'm these games have been pretty exciting. We've seen some pretty good upsets, and like I said, these lower conference, lower seeded schools that are damn near D2 schools but barely D1. It's been exciting to watch. I mean, and that's been the crazy part to me because all the teams aren't playing. You see teams that are ranked way higher than they would normally ever be. You see teams that are ranked that you're like, why the fuck are you ranked? Like, just really think about this, right? The 25th ranked team is Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is ranked 25th. And let me, like, bro. Now, I don't even really know what conference they're in. I don't even, but look, they play Kansas. They play Campbell. Campbell is the university whose mascot is a fucking camel, bro. Arkansas State, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, South Alabama, Troy, Appalachian State, Texas State, and Liberty. That's their fucking schedule. They play, but they're ranked 25, man. I don't. This shit has been insane without these other teams. And it's other teams that haven't played at all who are still ranked. Like fucking like those teams that's in the Big Ten. I think it's like 4 teams in the Big Ten who haven't played a single game and they're still ranked. I mean, yeah, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, and Minnesota. So those 5 teams, all in the Big Ten, haven't played a single game, but they're ranked. But then, shit, you got teams like Coastal Carolina who's ranked. And at one point, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, they were ranked. Marshall is ranked 22. Shit's insane, bro. But anyway, that's gonna do it. I'm not taking this podcast any longer. I can't wait to see all these games. I'll be back probably in a few days or next week. Who knows? But this has been episode 10 of Dem Sports Talk. And I'm your host, the finest Madison. It was great talking to y'all. And I'll see y'all again on the next episode. 1.